Hello everyone, my name is Harris and today we're going to do some smart contract programming on Ethereum. I'm a part of ForkedBlock. We're a collective putting on blockchain hackathons and networking events across the country. So if you're watching the stream on YouTube, please give us a subscribe and let's get right into it. So what you guys are looking at here is a project I'm working on for school. It's a decentralized learning platform. And that's the URL if you guys want to take a look at the code as well. So I already have this pulled up in my editor. I'm hoping this is a good size for you guys. If not, like I said, please let me know in the stream. Here we go again. Oh my god. I like the music. I'm gonna keep it. It makes me feel like I don't have to talk every second of the stream. Okay, so we'll dive right into it. Our first contract that we have here is our EDU token, and this is a basic implementation. I can write this. Comments, and I'm getting confused with my programming syntax. Okay, cool. I was explaining what Open Zeppelin is on the last stream that you guys probably didn't catch. If you're wondering what it is, they're a set of secure contract standards that are used widely in the Ethereum ecosystem. And I think it's important to keep in mind sorry guys, I'm getting used to OBS, so forgive me if this is going to take me a little bit of time. But I think we should be all good now. Looks good. Perfect. 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 Okay, I'm going to get right into it. Hopefully everything's... I have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. So, like I was saying, we import both the mintable token and a detailed ERC-20 contract from Open Zeppelin. And if you guys are starting from the beginning, I would advise you to... I'll give a brief truffle interlude here. So, if you make a new directory, let's just call this forked stream. CD into it. If you have Truffle installed, which you can install with Brew or whatever your favorite package manager is, we can say, I think we can just say Truffle to see our list of commands. So we have init, compile, all this stuff. And that's just something helpful to remember if you forget what the syntax is. But I can go and say Truffle init. And what that did here is that generated a bunch of files. We have a contracts folder which has a migrations solidity contract. And this contract is, in my opinion, hard to understand at first sight. But really all that it is, as you can see here, there's an address of the owner, there's the number, some sort of number at least, of the last completed migration, and this file all pertains to migrations. If you're using, I can't go into more depth than that. I'll have to really study this migrations file in depth, but I could go line by line. So this constructor here, it sets the owner to message.sender, which means that the owner has full range of capabilities over the sending and receiving of value. It's sort of like a root password on a computer. If you're the message.sender, it's giving you root capabilities in this contract. So it's restricting, if the message.sender is the owner, it's restricting that. Or this is a modifier restricted. It's an if statement. And yeah, moving on. Got stuck in Vim there for a second. So we also have a migrations directory, and this has an initial migrations JavaScript file. So if this is your first time looking at a Solidity or Truffle or Ethereum itself, there's a couple different moving parts here. The one that you're most familiar with that we just covered and that we're looking at here is a Solidity contract. And Solidity is a smart contract programming language for Ethereum. But in order to interact with the Ethereum blockchain, there's also something called Web3, which also comes with the Web3.js GitHub. There's a JavaScript API. There's a bunch of information on GitHub about it. But anyway, in order to transact on this new Web3, so to speak, where everything is decentralized and any entity can transmit value to any other entity in the system, you need to code that in, obviously, and the way that we communicate with Web3 is using JavaScript. So once again, the contracts, let's say I am going to mow Joe's lawn. I'm going to write Joe a contract with all the pertinent information in it. I'll say, I'm going to mow your lawn. I'm going to do it on this date. It'll be done by this date. This is how much I expect to get paid for it. And things like this. All the pertinent information. This is what you expect of me. This is how a lot of time that it should take. All of this contractual business kind of stuff, agreements, that anywhere where trust is involved, or consensus, this is where the contracts come into play. So that would be the Solidity contract. Anything with communicating with Web3, so integrating the current web, you think any big application, Facebook, GoFundMe, anything that exists on the normal web, Twitter. In order for the normal web, which will be the... I sort of think about it that Rome wasn't built in a day. So if we want to access Web3 today, we don't have like an internet specifically designed for Web3. But what we do have is the internet that we already know and love. And so Web3.js and all the JavaScript work that goes into programming smart contracts and decentralized applications, this all deals with Web3.js. I would highly recommend you guys check that out. We also have a test directory. It's empty. And here, this is specific to Truffle. This is a Truffle config file. And this will make more sense later when I start working with a testnet. But here you can set the network ID that you're working on. You can set the gas you can set the gas for what gas is on a really high level. It's like a car, right? So when you drive your car, it uses gas. And when you deploy a contract on Ethereum, that also uses gas. So although it's a decentralized, transparent platform, it does cost something. And it's not the money going directly into the creator's pocket, but in order to sustain the system, there's some cost in that. So we also have the gas price here and some other stuff that is not going to make a lot of sense right now. Okay, awesome. Great. Shit. I get distracted really easily, as you guys can notice, so please forgive me. God, I'm a mess. Okay, cool. So, and then our last file here looks a lot similar to the truffle config, so I'm not really gonna go into that. It looks super similar, and I don't know. I'm not an expert on truffle to the point where I can tell you guys each and every difference about it, so yeah. Alright, awesome. I don't really need to be in this fork stream per se. I'm going to continue going over this contract, and we can come back to this terminal a little bit later. So, we import two ERC-20 token standards from OpenZeppelin. These are Solidity contracts. We import mintable token and detailed ERC-20 token. And we also, in our contract declaration, we use the is variable to inherit from both the mintable token and the detailed ERC-20 token. And so if you guys are working on your own project, and this is actually the reason why I pulled up the window initially, if you guys are working on your own project and you want to try and follow along to the best of your ability, I already did truffle in here, so I have all these files. What you can also do, npm-i open Zeppelin Solidity, and it would probably help if I knew how to spell. So -i open I think this may be because, yeah, so I'm going to do npm init. Yeah, that's fine. Now I can do install. Cool, so it worked that time. And what that just did, I already did this in this contract over here in VS Code, but I did npm init, which gave me this node modules directory, and I installed OpenZeppelin Solidity. So this exists in the node package manager. That's what npm is. And this just cloned everything from their GitHub, more or less. So you have the README, you got the JSON file, you got a license, etc. In the contracts folder is where it gets interesting. Bunch of stuff here. I bet you guys are wondering what ERC-721 is, and if you're wondering what ERC-20 is, it's a set of standards for token creation on the Ethereum network. That's all it is. Okay, great. So this is the first contract that I'm importing into my EDU token. It's called the mintable token. And what it allows you to do, I wish I could say this more eloquently, but it allows you to mint tokens. And so we have an event mint here. with an address indexed to and the amount. And we also have the mint finished event. And to be frank, Solidity takes from so many different languages. If you have a programming background, a lot of this is going to make sense to you. We have a Boolean here. It's public, and it sets minting finish equal to false. I just want some I want no vocals. I should really give up on this, but I would love to listen to something. I'm gonna get a copyright strike for half of this. Alright, whatever, forget that. So, we're on that no music grind. And like I was saying, we were just covering the mintable contract here. It has a function to mint tokens. What does this say? The address that will receive the tokens, Boolean if it succeeded or not. So yeah, this is like a mint. If I want to create $1, but I need to programmatically define how to create $1, that like I would have to define a mintable contract in order for not $1, but the ERC-20 token to be minted. And I think some of this stuff can actually seem too simple sometimes because it's Ethereum. It's something that should be super complicated, and you think there's more to it than just it's mintable. And I mean, yeah, it defines the terms of being mintable. And I keep closing this window, but to reopen it again, we'll take a quick look at the detailed ERC-20, which is the other contract that we inherited from, and I'll also try to go a little bit faster through this because I don't want you guys falling asleep here. So once again, if we go into Open Zeppelin and try to find the detailed ERC-20, we go into token ERC-20, and I passed over it. This is super simple. It says detailed. It's not too detailed. Although it does import from the ERC-20 contract, so we're going down the rabbit hole here. So the detailed ERC-20 inherits from the regular ERC-20. It has a name, that's a string, it has a symbol, and it has the decimals, which is like dollars and cents. Like if it has 2 decimals, that would be like dollars and cents. It pertains to, as you can see here, it's for visualization purposes. And then we have a constructor initialize here. It takes the name parameter, symbol, it takes all the parameters that we defined here. It's public, and it sets them equal to itself, and that's basically the function of this constructor. Or all constructors generally. One last one. Oh my god, maybe not. We have to go to the basic too. So this is the ERC-20 interface. It inherits from the basic ERC-20 contract, ERC-20 basic. It has the allowance function, which takes 2 addresses, the owner and the spender. And what this next line here does, the public view returns, and it returns a UNT256. I mentioned before that in order to deploy a token onto the Ethereum network, that requires gas. But any view actions on the Ethereum network does not require gas. So you can view pretty much anything. That's where the transparency comes in with Ethereum. The view doesn't cost any money to do so. Just if you're changing something, really, or if you're trying to create something initially, sort of thing. So then we have the transfer from function. Takes the address to and from. It takes the value. And if you guys don't know what UN256 is, I could go into that later real quick. All it is, it's an unsigned integer. So there's both unsigned integers and regular integers in Solidity. And 256 refers to 256-bit. And this is a notable number because the SHA-256 hashing algorithm is supremely important in cryptocurrencies. And lastly, we also have this approve function. It takes the address of the spender and the value, and it returns a Boolean. So if it was approved, it'll return a true. If it was declined, it will return a false. And yeah. I'm going to be glad to get out of this Open Zeppelin stuff in a second here. Let's just take a quick look at ERC-20 Basic. And thank God this doesn't inherit from anything. So the last contract we were looking for was an ERC-20 interface. It had all the things we needed in order to implement an ERC-20. And this is a step below that. It's a little bit simpler. We have 3 functions and event here. We have the total supply. It returns the total supply. We have the balance of, which returns, so we have a function balance of here. It returns an address, a who address. So whoever's balance you're wondering about, it'll return an address to them. And yeah, transfer takes the to address wherever it's going, however much it is, and it returns a Boolean whether or not it succeeded, which is a true or false. And then we have an event transfer here, so it'll take the address index from, the address index to, and whatever the value is. So, okay, great. With all that in mind, I think we can go a step further. Okay, so this EDU token is as you can see here, it's an ERC-20 token, EDU token. If the real EDU token is out there, this is purely for development. Please, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So, like I said, it inherits from the 2 contracts that we just took a look at. It also declares a constructor here, which includes a name, a symbol, and the decimals, like we said before, is purely for visual reasons. And then we have the detailed ERC-20 with the name, the symbol, and the decimals as well. And yeah, I don't know why I included this. I think I might actually get rid of this. I think that's extra. Or maybe it's because I declared this public, it wants it to be there. In all honesty, I'm not quite sure. Let me just go back. We'll leave it for now. So, if we look in our contract folder, this is our ERC-20. This is all we have to do for the ERC-20. Like, this is everything, really. And we have the migrations file that came initially. We did some edits to it as well, if I recall correctly. Or, no, I think this is actually exactly how it came. I didn't even touch this. Truffle did all of this for us. We also have a Crowdsale contract here. And the purpose of this contract So in a sense, both the EDU token and the EDU crowd sale, we will deploy them to the blockchain. The difference with the EDU crowd sale is that it's not just the token itself that we're making. So you have Golem, you have Augur, you have Ethereum, you have every other cryptocurrency, but specifically with Ethereum ERC-20 tokens, our EDU token will be an ERC-20 token. And so if people want to buy our ERC-20 token, they can go to this crowd sale contract, which I will later deploy to the Coven test network. And in return for their Ether, they'll be awarded a certain amount of the token that we are creating. So I import a bunch of Open Zeppelin crowd sale related contracts here: crowd sale, time crowd sale, capped, minted, as well as the ERC-20 token standard. Okay, so we have an interface here for the mintable ERC-20. It only contains one function, and when it's finished minting, it will let us know yes or no has it finished minting. That way you can determine whether this contract is viable to still get some EDU token or not. So I think with that, as we look at this EDU crowd sale, whoops, you guys got to see what I look like for a second there, so I hope you screenshotted it. But I just like to take a moment to talk about ForkedBlock. We have a hackathon in Raleigh, North Carolina on the 27th of October. I will be there doing a workshop on Viper, the Ethereum Pythonic programming language. Also, I'm working on an algorithmic trading workshop to be done at the hackathon in Raleigh, North Carolina on the 27th of October. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, please find us on our website. Please contact us in our Discord. Yeah, it's just a great event if you are looking to interact with people in the blockchain space. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to jump right back into it. So I was explaining our Crowdsale contract here. We have a mintable ERC-20 interface. It'll tell us whether or not it is finished minting or not. It's a function in there. So if it, yeah, I already explained that. So onto our main contract, we have the EDU Crowdsale contract. It's inheriting from all the Open Zeppelin contracts that we imported. And there is also a Boolean is finalized, and it's assigned to false. So that opens the contract for people to interact with it. We also have an event finalized here. There's a constructor within that. All these variables that these all variables pertain to the event that the Crowdsale contract is finished. And so you have the address of the wallet, Crowdsale wallet, the opening time, the closing time, the cap, and the ERC-20 token. And I know just looking at this code, it might not be easy to understand this just looking at the code, but once we go to deploy the contract, it'll be much more visual and a lot easier to understand, in my opinion. Okay, great. So then we have the Crowdsale, time Crowdsale, cap Crowdsale, each initialized with some variables here. And that is within the finalized event. Okay, then we have a function finalized. It's a public function, so it makes sure if it requires that if the event is not finalized, it has to be not finalized. In this event, it also requires that it has to pass this first. So if it does that, it requires that it not only has closed. No, I'm sorry. This is an or right here. So either it has closed or the cap has reached. Whatever happens first, it doesn't matter if the cap reached and it hasn't closed, or it has closed and the cap hasn't reached, or it has both closed and the cap is reached. It just needs one of them since this is an or. So if one of these are true, we will proceed. And if these require statements go to the next line, it is calling the finalization method, which is defined. If we wanted to go look at the Crowdsale, we would be able to find the finalization method declared there. And it also emits finalized event, which we defined here. And then, lastly, it sets the variable is finalized to true. That's all the finalize function does. And then we also have our finalization function, and I may have been mistaken. I think it's called right here. Although, yeah, I think this is actually an interesting tidbit, because unless this is inheriting from one of the files we imported above, and I might be a little bit shaky in my Solidity understanding, but I mean, this function was declared under, or this function was defined rather under where it was declared. So in JavaScript, there's a conflict here. I think it's obvious. You can't use a method that you defined later down the page. But I'd like to know more about that. If anybody knows, please write in the stream. Is this special to Solidity? Does it matter on the page where it's defined? And I might even be wrong about JavaScript. You might even be able to declare something under and still initialize it above. But I digress. Then it emits the finalized event here. Once again, we initialize it here. And I already went over that. So lastly, the finalization function, it's an internal function. Mintable ERC-20. So it just sets mintable token to mintable ERC-20. And it calls the finish minting method on mintable token when it's finalized. Okay, cool. That was difficult. I think when you try to explain something that you might believe you have knowledge in. Yeah, I mean, it definitely tests your ability, and you definitely learn lots of new things. That's part of the reason why I enjoy teaching. So if we go into DED, I'm gonna say open dot. This is just easier for me. I'm gonna delete everything in the build folder just to get a clean slate. Cool. Yeah, I'm not doing this on purpose, I promise. Okay, so with that, we don't even need to use this. What we can do, this is why I love VS Code so much. There's an integrated terminal. Just type that in the help bar. And I can run all my commands. It's within this folder. I can install npm packages and all this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say truffle. You know, no. Let me back up a step. The first thing I'm going to do is we need some way to interact with the blockchain, even though it's on a test network. So obviously, it would be a very poor idea to start on a real network where money is involved and you could lose that money. So I just like to practice on the test network. All the mistakes I'm gonna make, they're not gonna matter financially, at least. So to communicate with the test network, we can say test RPC. That's strange. Wow, this is painstaking. You know what? Forget test RPC. The newer version of test RPC is Ganache. Ganache is also made by Truffle. So I can say Ganache Clee. And what this just did for me, it's super cool. I would recommend you guys to download this with Brew if you're on Mac. What this does, it generates 10 Ethereum accounts with 100 test Ether. These are test accounts. And it also generates each private key to each of those 10 accounts. In addition to that, there's this HD wallet here, which has a mnemonic. So in case you lose your private key, you can actually enter in this mnemonic, and it will open up access to your account. It's like an extra key to your car in the chance that you lose it. Sorry about that, guys. Getting back into it. Like I was saying, yeah, we have gas price, gas limit. And as you can see here, it's listening on localhost port 8545. So if we go back into our code, I made some edits to the truffle config files, and I changed the port to 8545 so that when we go to compile and migrate our contracts to this test network, it will be able to communicate with it and it will know where to go. And like I said, once again, it's going to be hard. I know I've been going over some code line by line, but it's going to be really difficult for me to. If you guys are interested, want to take a look at it, yeah, here's the URL. It's tutor token DED. If you type in my username, yeah, GitHub /tutor token DED, you'll find it. And we're on a progress branch if you want to be really specific, but I digress once again. I really don't think I have any viewers, but it's okay. I'm not sad. Oh, I actually have 5 viewers. That is amazing. Hello, everyone. I am very happy. Okay. So with Ganache open, what we're going to do is truffle compile. Give it a second here. Okay, good. This is actually what we wanted to see. So it's compiling all of this. And it's writing the artifacts to build contracts. So we could go to build contracts. And inside this folder, we have a bunch of stuff. Whoops. We have a bunch of stuff in this folder. These are all JSON files. So what it does is it takes all of my contracts and all of my imported contracts within those, and it generates all of them into JSON contracts. And if you guys know JavaScript object notation, this data is actually really useful. You have the name of the contract, the ABI, a lot of information for the ABI, whether the minting finished or not, is this contract payable, what's the state mutability, what's the type, and it has all of this information. For one thing, it's structured in a format that is universal to JSON, and secondly, these are a lot of the building blocks of your contract. So if you don't want to go to the point where you're writing Solidity contract, you could simply look at the JSON compilation and it will tell you a lot about what's going on. So this is super long, but that's what truffle compile is doing. After we compile, we're going to say truffle migrate. I'm going to specify reset, and I'm going to say the Coven network. And if that doesn't work, we'll see what we got to do. Because I was actually trying this last night, and I was running into some difficulties, and we're running into them again. So let me see if I can... I might have to figure this out. I wish I would have figured this out before the stream got going, but let me just try running truffle migrate Coven and see what that does. It also might be a problem with the Coven network in my configuration. Although it looks to be doing something when I run it. It's just not doing it all. Maybe if I don't specify Coven, I'll just say truffle migrate. Let's just say truffle migrate, see if it works. It might already be specified to the Coven network. Not quite. Could not find build migrations contract. Do I have both of my migrations contract? Let me look at the code on GitHub. Maybe I overwrote something or other. I wonder if it has to do with this. No, this Webpack is for React. I might need to switch gears, guys, in order to demonstrate this, so let me actually do that real quick. I wish I would have had this working, but I got to spend some time tinkering with it today. But, do I want to change it? Don't save. Okay. But, despite that, I am going to show you guys how this works, regardless. So, let's just get out of DED, forget about DED for now. I'll go into the, I'll make a new directory. I'll call it tutorial. Whoops, probably gonna make it first. And within this, I'm just gonna say, we're just gonna do a simple truffle I'll do truffle unbox tutorial token, and we'll follow along to their website so that I can show you guys what the process of compiling contracts and pushing them using truffle looks like. And perhaps later today, once I get my Cove and Testnet deployment all finished up, perhaps I'll get on and do another stream showing you guys how to do that, because I mean, that is what this title says. You guys are probably mad. I'm not doing what the title says, but okay. Anyway, deploy. No, I'm sorry. Truffle tutorial token. I think Pet Shop is a real good one to start with too. Maybe I should have tried the Pet Shop. Okay, and like I just did in the other project, we need Open Zeppelin. So I'll get Open Zeppelin. Also going to copy this code. Everybody copies code. Don't feel bad about it. Okay, so we're going to make a new contract. Call it, whoops, tutorial token. Put that in there. Put this in there. Lastly, get the constructor. Put it in there. Fix the spacing. Whoops. I think it wants me to indent this too. Jesus. Cool. And this is something that really bothers me too. I wonder if there's a plugin or something to fix this. But sometimes the imports don't go smoothly. So in order to fix this, what we can do is just go directly into the node modules. In Open Zeppelin, we can find this exact contract to fix whatever the path issue is here. What I like to do, I'll just do copy path, put it there. Cool. I think it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cool. With that, I'm going to make this deploy contracts file, JavaScript file. Within this contract, I'm going to put all this jazz. Okay, cool. Then we're in business. Cool. Save that. Awesome. Okay, great. So I will say ganache client. Okay, great. I think I have to change this. So I am going to change that. I think that's all. Let's try it. I'll say truffle compile. Like I said, this will make a build file. This will make a build directory and populate that build directory, as we can see with JSON interpretations of the contract. That went smoothly. Perfect. And then I can say truffle migrate. Hopefully we'll see something on this end, on the right side here. Awesome. Awesome. So this didn't work on my EDU token. I'll have to figure out where I went wrong there. I might have it might be a stupid bug, but I'll take a look at it, see what I can find. Now, this is using the development network. We plan to use the COVID network, but this is super cool. It takes this migration JavaScript file. Let me find it here. Right here. Okay, it takes that. There's a hash here. It's deploying it. So this hash, I wonder if we can actually, this is on the development. You know what? I think we can. So you could do something like this. You could say, what is it? Etherscan. Etherscan. Make sure I'm in the test network. Localhost. Awesome. Now, put the hash in here. And it's unable to find it. I think that's because I'm on a development network. Oh well, it happens. Or you know what? Let me try this one. Etherscan is a developer's friend. Okay, so this one actually looks like it exists. So I think what the first one is actually the transaction hash. Whoops, I'm all turned around. The transaction hash, and this one is the location on the network. These are actually two different addresses if you look at the end, or the beginning. And then this 1, 2, and then it's saving the migration to the network. So if I look at this one, whoops. We have 3 hashes here. If I look at this one, on my Etherscan. By the way, make sure you have the right network specified, or else it will really mess up the whole thing. And that one is not shown either for some reason. It does the same thing with the deploy. JavaScript file, and it also deploys my tutorial token, which is fantastic. Hopefully I can see something here. I'm really hoping for this. If not, we can I'll go to the end of this truffle tutorial. God, I'm really missing a screw today or something. That's not shown either. What is that? Well, I think this one actually will be the one to show. I'm confident that this hash is the hash. So yeah, something did come up here. I mean, there is an address here. It's just there's like nothing populating it, but that's okay. Okay, cool. Cool. And then, where was I here? Okay, so those deployed, truffle migrate worked fine, and we also have, if we look at the ganache client, there's a lot of things happening in real time. So this is actually, I wasn't paying attention here, but there's a bunch of stuff happening. So it's listening. There's all these things happening, version, send transaction. Okay, this transaction was sent. I think I actually should have been looking here. So this is the contract created. That's the gas usage. That's the block number. It's the first block. And I can follow the Genesis block with Etherscan. I can say, I'm gonna put it in there. And it's okay that there's nothing populating this contract. This is simply an address. We just have to find the right one. So that's the contract. This is the transaction. Did I copy the contract or the transaction? Well, this is the contract. So yeah, so that okay, perfect. So if you try to look up the transaction hash, you're probably not going to get anything, but the contract hash will in fact go to something. Yeah, so really I'm just wondering why I can't view my contract code on the blockchain. To be honest, my Etherscan, it can be a learning process. Trying to find which of these addresses you want, and getting really angry when you can't find your deployed contract. But it's a part of learning. Okay. This is a great website, by the way. Oh wow, somebody. That's cool. Okay, anyway. Cool. That makes me happy. I guess somebody's enjoying the stream. Okay, yeah. So let's see what's happening with our tutorial token. Let's just see. So I can run whoops. In my VS Code integrated terminal, I can run npm run dev. And this is doing some cool stuff. Okay, awesome. I just did a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to open this up in Chrome. Alright, cool. This is sick. What we have here, we're on localhost 3000. What we have here is tutorial token. We have a simple modal here. We have the current balance of tutorial token, and we have a box where you can transfer, you can enter an address and the amount that you want to transfer, and you can transfer it. I think in order to make this work, I might need some test ether. Because if I try to put in like an address in here, I don't believe it will let me. Or if I try to, that's not what I meant. If I try to transfer some tokens here without any ether in my wallet, I don't believe it will be able to do so. But I can try it. And when I press that transfer button, you see insufficient funds. But when I press that transfer button, it takes me to MetaMask, where I can view the gas fee, the total amount, and I can confirm it to make sure I want to spend that money on whatever I'm agreeing to. But I don't have any test ether, so I need to get some. And the way that I'm gonna do this, I think we have created something, a tool to expedite the process of getting test ether. Here it is. In order to, okay, CD into DD and run. Try this. I sure hope this works. Bash. My friend wrote this shell script. I really don't know how he did it, but it's cool, man. It's super cool. Copy that. Go back to this view. Put it in there. I don't think I need these brackets actually. Yeah, I don't need the brackets. Oh, I have to say the amount too. I should probably change that in the README. just say 100. Can it give me that many? It might not be able to give me that many. Yeah. Sender doesn't have enough funds. Let me do 10. Come on, tell me you have 10. That's not even that much. How much is that in Ether? Oh, word. Okay, I think that just did it. And it's fast too. So if it, awesome, dude. My friend Anthony Quiggle, if you're watching this, I don't know how you made this shell script, but it's awesome. The alternative would be to go to a faucet and wait for it, but it takes forever. So forget that. So now I have funds in my account. I could say confirm. Oh, I don't think I could send it to myself. That was a poor idea. But what I can do is I can take, and we got a lot of colors going on here. Very cool. What I can do is on my Ganache, I could take one of these accounts and the private key to that account, and I can do, well, they already have test ether, but let me try something. Take this account, first account, get out of here. This is a mess. Put their address in instead of my own address, and I will transfer $1. You know what? I did make a mistake. Let me just consult the tutorial. It happens. Let's see. Oh, cool. So, like I said, Ganache generates a bunch of Ethereum accounts for you, so I could take this account right here, and I'll take this account, the public key, I'll put it into MetaMask, import account, I just messed up. That was the public key, I need the private key, so I'm gonna go here, this is the this is the private key. So we'll put that into here. That should do the trick. Awesome, bet. I got two accounts here. I'm going to go to the first account. I'm going to take the second account's address. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to transfer 2,000. And I'm going to approve it. So if you see there, that's the tutorial token right there. And it's going to account 2, so that is another mistake. I have to make sure I'm on account 1 while I do this. I'm on account 1. I'm sending it to account 2. This is the address of account 2. 2,000. Now it will work. Okay. If I just take my time, this will probably go a lot better. Oh no, not this too. Why did it fail? Next time I stream, I'm definitely gonna have the stream open so I can communicate with you guys more. That'll be great. But I gotta figure it out. Let me just throw the gas price up, see if that does anything. Oh, come on. Come on. Exception with processing transaction. Oh, okay. Alright, okay. I don't have any tutorial token balance initially. That's what the issue is. You see here, I have no balance. So I think I have to transfer balance to myself. You know what I have to do? This account 1 is my account. It's not the account 1 from the contract. That's what it is. So I'm going to take this account right here, the private key to it rather, and I'm going to import it. And then that's the account. See, I was trying to send tutorial token that I didn't have any of. So, I mean, obviously, you can't send something you don't have anything of. So I'm going to add this account. That might be confusing to you guys. It's still confusing to me. So don't feel bad, please. It's confusing. Okay, word. So that was indeed the problem. And now, if you see, I have 1200 tutorial token. What I can do is, this is the account, so we'll copy. I'll send it to account 2. Copy their address. Put it here. I'll give them 4,000. Why not? I'm feeling generous today. So, I mean, it is worth nothing, but regardless. And I'm going to make sure I am in account 3. I'm going to transfer it. I'm going to confirm it with MetaMask. It's successful. Fantastic. So, if I go to account 2 and I try to test it, I will indeed, after I refresh the page, I will indeed see my 4,000 tutorial token. And that's all I have for you guys today. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd suggest you guys go to Truffle and check out all their tutorials. This one, the tutorial token's great. Pet Shop's great. They have a bunch of them. They have a bunch of great articles on their website. Yeah. In addition to that, thanks for tuning in today, guys. I had a bunch of fun, and I hope to see you again soon. You can check out ForkedBlock. We're a collective putting on hackathons across the country. We're a community of developers, people that want to learn, business people. We're from all different walks of life, but our main priority is to expand the developer community in blockchain and, yeah, just to help people learn things. So if you enjoyed learning, come join our Discord and join the community. So that's all I have for today, guys.